Hey guys, I'm IzDaisho and I'm here bringing you the final commentary for this Gatecrash draft. So obviously this is going to be the last one since this is game 3 of the finals, and it's a pretty exciting game. I think it goes really well. Unfortunately, I don't get one of my 2-drops on 2 or even a 3-drop, which is kind of ridiculous. I have a ton of 3-drops in this deck. I still decided to keep the hand because I know that the 5-drops is really how I'm going to beat this guy. He has a ton of removal, including early removal like Executioner Swings and Devour Fleshes, and even Orzhov Charms. So an early aggro rush is ideal because I can get in some damage early, but it's definitely not the way I'm going to win this game. So I have a couple of options on 4, and I decided to go with Homing Lightning. I'm not 100% sure if that was right. I could have played the Scorch Walker, and then maybe he would have tapped out, and then I would have been able to Homing Lightning or something like that. But instead, I decided to use the Homing Lightning first, and then now I'm going to play my Scorch Walker since I didn't draw land. But yeah, I think that may have been a little bit wrong. I did want to get rid of the Extorter, so I guess that wasn't such a bad play, because getting rid of the Extort early, especially in a deck that has tons of removal and is trying to just kill me slowly, is really good. So I mean, the way that he wants to kill me is he wants to just basically slowly gain some life and then eventually just take me out. But anyway, he's going to Devour Flesh, get rid of this thing anyway, so I think it was pretty inconsequential, although I guess he didn't get the Devour Flesh off with Extort. So I guess, I mean, technically my way ended up being better. We both miss our 5th land drop once, or I missed it twice, he missed it once, but then we both end up hitting it. So I'm going to play this Fortress Cyclops. I expect it to die right away, and it does, but I mean, you got to try it, right? Eventually, my creatures are going to break through. So I'm pretty excited about the opportunities I have. I'm going to play Night's Watch, hopefully bait out some more removal, but I've got 2 flying creatures, and he didn't really have too much good flying, so it's pretty exciting for me, and hopefully I'll be able to just use those flyers to get the rest of the way there. So I've got an Assault Griffin and a Guardian of the Gateless in hand, and if he doesn't have removal for both of them, I mean, they're just going to kill him eventually, so I think it puts me in a good spot. I do have a Massive Raid in hand, so I could consider doing that on the Gutter Skulk, or maybe just attack with both Knights and then Massive Raid the Corpse Blockade if I want to just kill that. But I just decided to go with the Guardian of the Gateless, spend my mana efficiently, because I know that I have multiple 3-drops, so if I draw another land, then I can play like Court Street Denizen and Massive Raid. That would be pretty good. I don't know, maybe I just want to save Massive Raid to try and do some final points of damage, since I know that he's calculating a lot, seeing if he can take more hits, and then use Executioner Swings instead of like Angelic Edicts or something like that. So maybe later on in the game it'll actually be useful to just burn him out. And I know that he's got a bunch of 1/4s, so he could just stall the board and I might develop a ton of creatures, but I mean, that's less likely since I know that he's got a billion removal spells by now. I mean, we know each other's decks pretty well right now. He still hasn't seen my Spark Trooper, which is definitely advantageous for me. The less my opponent knows about haste creatures in my deck, the better. I mean, he's definitely seen the Molten Primordial. I think he saw it once in game 2, even though I still ended up losing that one, so that was a little unfortunate. So he knows to play around that, but he doesn't really know about Spark Trooper. So yeah, anyway, I'm not exactly sure of all the cards in my hand. I know I've got an Assault Griffin, Court Street Denizen, as I was just saying, the Spark Trooper, and anyway, he's just going to Angelic Edict my dude here, and you're going to see it's pretty funny how large the Exile Zone gets just by those, but anyway, I've got 6 mana now, so I can play 2 3-drops if I so desire. So right now, I can play either, I've also got the Nav Squad Commandos in hand. None of the plays that I really make are too good here. I mean, I think if I play the Nav Squad, that's okay, because then I can next turn attack with Battalion, and then if he decides to trade the Corpse Blockade and the Gutter Skulk for my Nav Squad, that's pretty good. But what I do decide to do is play the Court Street Denizen, and then leave Massive Raid up. I was really confused since I had 6 mana, and I knew that I had 6 mana, so I couldn't play a 4-drop and a 3-drop. And then I only accidentally tapped 2 mana. I'm like, whoa, I have 4 mana, I can play my Assault Griffin now? That's awesome. But I'm trying to decide if I want to Massive Raid something here or just wait. But I decided to wait and not even attack. I mean, if I Massive Raided the Gutter Skulk here, he would just sacrifice it to the Corpse Blockade, and then I wouldn't be able to attack, so it wouldn't really be too relevant. I think saving the Massive Raid might just be correct here, just to save it in case he plays a Basilica Screecher or another Extort creature that I haven't seen yet. I think that Basilica Guards and Screecher are the only two that I've seen. But anyway, I think he just hit his 6th land drop, so I don't see that Primordial yet, which is very good. But he's just going to pass the turn, and I'm going to Massive Raid his Gutter Skulk. I'm going to do it on his turn, so he can't just sacrifice to give the Corpse Blockade Death Touch. So that's fine for me. If he had, like, I don't even know. I don't think that there's any... I guess he could have had, like, Orzhov Charm and Grizzly Spectacles since he's got the Prophetic Prism. I don't know. But the problem with doing my play of last turn is that this turn I would have been able to hit both a 4-drop, an Assault Griffin, and a Court Street Denizen if I had just played the Nav Squad last turn and still made the same attack. And then I would still have the Massive Raid in hand. So that would have been pretty sweet. But he's just going to Executioner Swing, get rid of my Court Street Denizen. I could have played around that by not attacking with the Court Street Denizen since I know it's really valuable. And I know that at least some of his removal is Devour Fleshes and Executioner Swing. So neither of those two actually hit my dude. But that's pretty good. Another thing I was just thinking about is since he's got so many removal spells, Prophetic Prisms are, like, not always, but almost always just going to draw him into removal spells, like, or just get him closer to removal spells. So that's really interesting. So for some reason I decided to play the Frontline Medic first main. I don't really know why. I was never actually going to sacrifice it to get rid of an X spell. I mean, he would have just played it in response, so it's pretty dumb. But anyway, he's going to block my Frontline Medic, not my Frontline, my Nav Squad Commandos and smite it, so that was pretty bad for me. But I do get in for 4 and get to play an Assault Griffin. So right now I am in just great shape, and he's going to actually have to come up with something huge in order to stop this this combat. So he's going to Orzhov Charm my Assault Griffin, which is a nice start, but I still have Frontline Medic for Battalion for Indestructible. But again, a smite is another part of his removal set, so if I don't attack with my Court Street Denizen, then the only things that can really kill it, I think, in his deck are Angelic Edicts, Orzhov Charms, and I guess the Luminate Primordials too. So that's still a lot. I don't know. He's just got a ton of removal in that deck. But he really needs to answer Frontline Medic right now, or this game is just going to go in my favor. And, I mean, that's what I'm rooting for, but obviously he's hoping it goes a different way. I've gotten down to 8, and I have this Frontline Medic out, so I'm definitely feeling hopeful, though... If you notice, he did just hit his 7th land drop, which I guess is kind of indicative of what he's about to play, and it's going to be Illuminate Primordial. So he's going to be able to exile my Frontline Medic, and then it went from last turn, where I had the Assault Griffin Frontline Medic and 2 Knights, to just his Corpse Blockade, which all it can do is basically chump block, to me just having 2 Knights and him having a 1/4 and a 4/7 Vigilance. So that obviously just puts me in terrible, terrible shape, and I need to draw something huge if I want to get back. But here's, again, the 3rd card that was exiled. So, again, that's just supposed to be in terrible shape. All I'm drawing is Mountain, and I'm just like, Mountain, go. I do still have the Spark Trooper in hand, but it can't really do anything on the current board state. It just gets blocked by the Luminate Primordial, and I, like, get in for 2 or something stupid like that. But I do draw an Armored Transport, so I'm going to play that. It's really not too good, and I don't even know what in my deck can save me here, which really sucks because I think that I played this game pretty well up until this point, and then all of a sudden, Mr. Court Street Denizen comes into play, and then I'm going to be able to play Spark Trooper, haste, lifelink, get to tap down his Luminate Primordial, and surprisingly enough, that's going to be the game. He ended up having an Angelic Edict and an Executioner Swing in hand, but with me only at 6 power on the board and no real attacks, he didn't have any reason to play the Angelic Edict, and he didn't know that there was a card like Spark Trooper that I could play to just auto-win the game. But no matter how he blocks, he's going to take 8 at the very least, so I was just super lucky that he was at exactly 8. I guess that play earlier on in the game with the 1 Extort really mattered, playing the Homing Lightning before the Scorchwalker. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed these videos, and I thought that this was a really awesome series, so I definitely enjoyed commentating them, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching them. Have a nice day. Bye.